Greg Shoemaker, tristatefootball.com, here with Ken Moyer, the new head coach of the Dayton Christian Warriors. And Ken, I got to ask you right away, why Dayton Christian?
Well, it's an interesting thing. I really firmly believe that God made it clear this is where He wants me to be. I was sitting there talking with my wife in February, the first week of February, and I hadn't had an opportunity, so I shared with her. I really sensed God was leading me to look for opportunities to teach and coach in a Christian setting. Lo and behold, while we were having that conversation, she got a text from a high school classmate that she hadn't talked to in 10 years. That said, "Carrie, would Ken know anybody who might be interested in teaching and coaching at Dayton Christian?" And so we said, "Wow, God, certainly that timing of that was anything but coincidental." And so we walked through the process. It was a great fit, and so I'm really excited about being here.
Let's ask you a little bit about what we can expect from the Warriors on offense. You're the offensive coordinator the last 2 years at Oak Hills. What can we look for on the Warriors team as far as offense and on defense as well?
Well, we're going to be do our best to be explosive. We're going to do our best to take advantage of what the weaknesses the defense give us, right? We're not going to try to force anything. We're just going to take what they give us. On defense, we're going to be sound. We're going to be gap sound. We're going to be physical. We talk about with our football team, we got 4 things we want to do, right? If we want to win football games, we've got to be the most physical team on the field. We have to execute, do what the coaches tell us to do. We have to go 100%, snap to whistle, and we have to win the turnover battle. And if we do that on offense and defense, we'll win plenty of games.
Your team was 1-9 last year, the Dayton Christian was, and then the year before that, though, they made their first ever playoff appearance. When you look at this program, where do you see that you can make immediate impact and continue to build on that winning tradition that they had 2 years ago?
Well, we're really trying to build a program. We don't have the facilities that some of the other teams have, so we're going to try and put together a package where we'll build a gymnasium and a football stadium that we can play at. Hopefully that'll get done within the next 2 or 3 years. And so some of our freshmen, sophomores can be playing on those football fields. We have to do a lot of things. A football team is a million moving parts. And so, we're in the process of trying to establish a youth football program with Dayton Christian that will draw interest and try to draw people. We're in the process of introducing a fully comprehensive strength and agility and speed training program. We're bringing in high quality coaches, and we're trying to do things with excellence. And I think unique to Dayton Christian in that setting also is we're trying to help develop total athletes. We're trying to develop them not just physically, emotionally, and mentally, but also spiritually. And so, for 16 years I spent as the chaplain for the Bengals.
Free Hopper, please report to the media center. Free Hopper, please report to the media center.
16 years I spent as the chaplain with the Bengals. I got to teach some of the athletes, all pro athletes, how to compete in a way that would honor God, how to deal with performance anxiety, how to deal with stress. And so we're going to do some of those things from a Christian perspective because we are a uniquely Christian school. And so I think that's another thing that gets me excited. And so we're going to try to build the spiritual program as well by helping guys to grow spiritually.
You've been at both situations. You've dealt with kids as a teacher now, but as a pro, you talked about being a chaplain for the Bengals. You played for the Bengals. What's the biggest difference about relating your message and your Christian message to kids and to adults? I mean, is there a big difference in that?
No, the central message of Jesus is the same, right? It is that we all need a relationship with Jesus, and he offers that freely through his grace, through his death on the cross. And so in some sense, there are different ways that you apply it. When I was working with the Bengals, we'd spend a lot of time with marriage situations where couples were struggling, or maybe it's how do I handle my finances? I've got these millions of dollars. How can I handle it in a way? So we apply the message differently. I haven't had too many conversations with high schoolers about how they handle their $1 million signing bonus, nor any marriage questions. But in the same way, you go to where their felt needs are, you go to what they're struggling with, and then you try to help them to walk through what's God's perspective on this, and how can we grow in the midst of it. So the central message is the same, but how it applies is different just based on their stages of life.
Several other former Bengals now coach in the area, Bruce Kozerski over at Holy Cross, and even in your own league, David Fulcher. Have you reached out?
Mr. Malovich, please call the front office. Mr. Malovich, please call the front office.
Have you reached out to any of those coaches about you're taking over as a head coach?
Yeah, you know what? I haven't had a chance to yet. It's only been a month since I've accepted the job, and so I'm in the process of trying to do some crazy, try and find coaching staff and trying to put a schedule together and do all that. But one of the people I have to call right now is one of my former teammates as well to try and recruit him onto my coaching staff. So I think that's a long shot, but I'm going to make that call. David and I will see each other quite often. We used to see each other every Sunday because he worked for the NFL while I was working for the Bengals. And so I'll look forward to talking with him. I've been really fortunate that Eric Taylor from CHCA has kind of offered to help me with any of the questions. So I've spoken with him, and he's been very helpful, and I can't tell you how appreciative I am of that. And, Dan Scholes here at Oak Hills has been very helpful, and all the coaches that are here. So in some sense, it's fun to get to see and hear from all the other coaches that I've rubbed shoulders and elbows with along the time. They're very helpful, and it's a neat fraternity.
Well, Dayton Christian's getting a good one. That's Ken Moyer, the new head coach for the Warriors.